there was one day that you write about in the book that is really one of the most horrific days of your life. You were actually pregnant.
Yes.
With King, your second.
Yes.
Tell about
Yes.
that day. Tell us about
5
that
months
day.
pregnant, on my way to pick up Trey from school. The school was like an hour drive away. Purposely, I wanted him in a Christian school, and I just always needed that time for me and the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the way, I got a call from Nate saying, "Dot, where are you?" And I said, "On my way to pick up Trey." And he said, "Well, you pick him up and then you come straight home." And I mean, the tone in his voice, I was used to it, but there was something different about it this time. I was really, really scared. On the drive, he knew exactly where I was every step of the way. And so I picked up Trey. I went to my friend Ingrid, who had known about the abuse like the last 5 years of my marriage. And I told her, I said, "I'm in trouble. I might not live." And so I asked her to promise me that she would her and her husband would take care of Trey. I wrote a letter, signed it. She put it in her safe. She was terrified. And I just asked her to please, promise me that. And I went because he was calling, "Where are you? Where are you?" And so I told Trey, I said, "Trey," and he told me I better bring Trey. And so I said, "Trey, stay in the car. Do not get out." And poor Trey, he was used to the abuse, hearing it, sometimes seeing it. So, and he was very obedient. I said, "Trey, do not get out of the car. Stay here." He had his music. And I went in, and there Nate was standing. He was ready. It's like he knew every step of the way when I would be there. And, all of our furniture was custom built. Really, really nice, heavy furniture.
It's like a marble top, I remember you telling me.
Yes, I sat at the table. I just sat down. I'm 5 months pregnant, and he's standing up. And so that's when he, said, "You've been telling my business to people." And I said, well, even on the drive, he reminded me that I told somebody, and the only person I told was Valerie, somebody that I came to love and trust, and she told a Hall of Famer, and this Hall of Famer went inside the organization. I know who he is, and since then we've had, eye contact, but anyway.
Then he told Nate.
He told Nate. Well, no, he told someone in the Cowboys organization.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if it's Jerry Jones, I don't know, somebody. And Nate, because Nate said, "You telling my business to my job, blah, blah, blah." And that's when I said, no, I kept denying it at first, and I didn't get to have a chance to talk, and he was just fussing and cussing, and it was escalating, and all of a sudden, the big table, he just took it and flipped it, and my instinct made me back up, and the table scraped my stomach, and I just thought I hurt the baby. And I mean, our floor was granite, so it chipped the granite floor. I mean, I just backed away. And then he took the gun. Now, I'd never seen a gun in our house before, but we had a guest house in the back. We lived on 6 acres, and there was like a BB gun. Anyway, I saw the gun on the counter, and I was scared. That's why I was saying less, just to try to de-escalate. He took the gun and shot at me. Now, I believe he could have shot me because, this is the area.
Yeah, close range.
Yes,
close range.
It was close range, but he shot the glass behind me and shattered everything. And that, that was not, there was so many times of abuse, but that was the worst. And
that was kind of like the final straw for you.
Yes, I'm pregnant. Well, there was so many final straws. I tried to leave so many times. I'm not sitting here saying, no, I tried to leave many, many times, but as I mentioned, every time he got in trouble with the law, then that was the worst time to leave because my life was in danger. I remember, just praying and crying like I really wanted to die. I mean, I was so tired. One time, I was just so worn out, and I was praying, and I said, "God, just take me," And then in the same sentence, I was like, no, 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 God, don't take me, because who's going to teach my kids? You know, I had one in my stomach. It was a boy. So 2 kids. In fact, the kids are 8 years apart. We planned the second child because there was a season when things were so good. I mean, people ask him to speak in church. I remember Easter Sunday, he's speaking in church, you know, so it was a roller coaster. I mean, life, I am telling you, when I think back, there was so many times he abused me, but that was the last straw. And so at that moment, he disappeared. He showed up during a delivery and then disappeared again, because I was 6 weeks pregnant and national news, Nate Newton sexually assaulted a woman. We had to go to court. I was subpoenaed because I was getting a lot of phone calls from the woman. I was subpoenaed. And 6 weeks old baby, I'm in court because this man, not only DUI, DWIs, assaults, but sexually assault, there was so many things.
Sounds like he had multiple addictions, and he was tormented, and he didn't get the help he needed. And then you were set up because abuse was normal.
Right.
So this was normal for you, even though it's illegal and wrong, it was normal.
Right. It's what I saw. I attracted the same behavior.
Right.
And even though I wanted to go to the authorities, there was time I went to the authority, and all they did was talk to Nate about football. You know, there was so many times, but can you imagine if I had ruined his career, if I finally had a breakthrough and went and found help and got somebody, and then this national news that I mean, I would be dead. There's no question about it. I mean, there was too many close calls.
So you finally got out of the marriage, though.
I did.
And you filed for divorce.
Yes, everything he said, you know, I want you with me until my last season is over. And I promise you, in his last season, he was cut from the Cowboys and played with the Panthers. And so I stayed behind. And that's when I really could have time with God. I mean, soak in his word, like really soak in his word and seek him for instructions and directions. And after that season, you know, I reminded him, he said, okay, after I have surgery, because he had injured his arm. And I reminded him again, and I said, whatever terms, I just want custody of the kids. And so, you know, I walked away without anything. I don't even know what they had. I never ever saw a bank account. I never asked him for money. I mean, I, you know, had enough, you know, because I was his local agent. I mean, that was my job. And so I had to review endorsements, contracts, and all that, and I would get a certain percentage. But I didn't require much. I mean, I was trying to survive at home.
So you walked away really without even getting...
The only thing I had my name on was the house. The house was paid for, and so it was like a $1.2 million home. And then he forced me that, I mean, we couldn't sell it. I mean, it was only like 3 months. And he said, bring the offer down to 600, you know, because he needed money. And I'm like, but that's all I will have. And he, you know, he was very, very abusive. Even after we divorced, he was taking me to court. The only thing I wanted was $1,000 for each child support. He was taking me to court because he wanted joint custody. He didn't want to pay that. And so I was spending all the money on court. And then this is the thing. He was arrested because of drugs. I don't know the extent of it. And then he was arrested again, and then he was in prison.
And so then you had no income at all. And how long was he in prison?
3 years.
Three years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay, but the thing about it is, God was faithful through all of that.
He was.
And I know that he helped you with the boys, even them going to school. And I know we got pictures we have to show, because I don't want to run out of time without showing the boy. Look at, this is Trey and his wife and grandbaby, so cute. Dorothy says that the little girl looks just like her. And there's King and his wife and the new baby, so exciting. But I want to get to the other side. So I want to say that Nate has since come to the Lord, right?
Yes.
And he wrote the foreword
Yes.
He wrote the foreword for your book.
Yes, he endorsed it.
He endorsed your book, which was saying something.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so God has worked in his life, and so I know we told all, but
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is impossible for the Lord, right?
No.
And of course, he's gone on,
Yes.
to do well, and he's excited about the grandkids, right?
Yes, and the kids have a great relationship with him. When me and the kids, we prayed for Nate every single night on our knees, prayed for him.
And you didn't talk bad about him to the
no,
boys,
no,
which is
no,
another important
no.
point
Yes.
in all this.
No,
Amen.
so they forgave him. They have a great relationship. Both my boys, one have 2 degrees, the other one have a master's. They focused, they locked in, focused on God, and God prevailed.